but I want to see Indian brands following suit. But I also feel like Indian brands may or may not really take that route because it is a bit risky. So, as you already know, we are doing beauty predictions for the year 2026. I have been predicting this for the last 2 years. I have a video on beauty predictions for the year 2024, then 2025, and now we are doing 2026. And I am just so thrilled about it because year after year, I have been so good with predicting things that are incoming. So, beauty always takes a little bit from culture and fashion. So, a little bit of those are also sort of interlinked. So, you'll see influences of those as well in this video. So yeah, let's do this. So just to recap, what was this year all about? The year started with people having grapes for New Year's Eve, and that was the most insane kind of a trend. Honestly, I didn't even know about it. Like for somebody who really keeps up with trends and culture and everything, I had honestly no clue that people were doing it. I only discovered this once we had already set into the new year, and I was like, it's amazing what humans can actually believe. But yeah, cool if that floats your boat. Another thing that we saw was the emergence of bows everywhere. There was a very definite phase of a couple of months in the middle of the year where bows really took center stage. You would see bows as jewelry, bows on clothes, bows on bags, and bows were like everywhere, and everybody wanted to have like a piece of bow on them. And labubus, the way they came in, they disappeared equally quickly. Like the rage was insane about it, and they went away. Like very like unannounced because we know exactly how that went, right? So when I was in Thailand, I saw people hanging big labubus all over their bags, and even men. Okay, it's not like only centered around women out there. It's pretty gender neutral with the fashion scene out there. So even men had big labubus with clothes, labubus with a case around it on the bag, um, and then there were of course a lot of bag charms. Bag charms are still somewhere in the scene; they've not completely disappeared, and that's actually a pretty sweet trend that actually makes me pretty nostalgic also because they remind me of my college days when bag charms were the thing. So yeah, that's coming back and that's pretty cool. But having said that, it's not like it's going to stay for a very long period of time. They're also going to fade away fairly quickly. I think by the end of 2026, we may or may not really be into bag charm. And metallic, shimmering, glittering things were all over the scene as predicted. You have to check out my video if you missed that. I did predict that you will see a lot of this metallic influence in makeup and fashion as well, and that is rightly so happening. There's a big influence of silver. I think gold had its moment for a couple of years, in fact, and now slowly silver is again making its foray. Also, with the way the market is going for silver, that's a bit crazy though. Like the inflation is madness, but silver really coming into the fashion scene and silver really taking center stage with makeup is so bold and is so Y2K coded, and I am all here for it. I think we'll still see the whole metallic trend stay through 2026, although it won't just be limited to like a silver. I feel like there may be introduction of a lot more colors, and people will be a lot more experimental than they have been till now. That was anyway my prediction for 2025. Experimentation phase has already started. It started in 2025, and that's only going to keep continuing. The more people will experiment, I think the more it factor they'll have going into moving into circles of their own. So yeah, I'm here to see how that goes. So speaking about experimentation, I had also spoken about people really getting more into tools and also more into makeup brushes, and rightly so. I see the emergence of makeup brushes all over. I also feel like beauty brands will take makeup brushes as a category a lot more seriously, and they will have their own makeup brushes launching, I think, very soon, and everyone will slowly really get into it. And people who are also newish rather to makeup will also want to experiment with makeup brushes. So that's a pretty cool move actually. So waist chains also had a moment, and I think they will be here through 2026 as well. Although I'm not sure how they will be at the end of the year. I think they will be fairly present, and we might even see more experimentation around the simple waist chain. Like the simple waist chain is so Y2K, right? So I think we'll be seeing a lot more going on with it. Anyway, we are moving more towards a maximalism sort of a culture with bag charms, waist chains, like the over accessorizing and accessorizing thing, which again was my prediction last year. So I'm very glad that my predictions are bang on. I also like the waist chain trend. Honestly, it's not something that I hate or anything. But I'm not 100% sure of where we are going with this. I just feel like if we are still doing the same thing, then we're just like copying from something that was 20, 25 years ago. And I just feel that the new age will sort of slowly bring in their flavor, will add their new bits in 2026. So I'm hopeful of that. We really saw lip combos having a moment, like people using up to even 4 and 5 products to create a whole lip look. And that's pretty interesting. I'm just not sure if it's sustainable, but it's interesting for sure. And of course, the concealer lips are back again, Y2K coded. But now I think the next thing from concealer lips would be for a lot of indie makeup brands to also consider having makeup products like your lip products to actually replace concealer. So why are we using concealer? Because we don't have that product in lipsticks. So I think MAC has already started doing that, and they're doing a really good job of it. But I also want to see other brands following suit. I want to see Indian brands following suit. But I also feel like Indian brands may or may not really take that route because it is a bit risky. It's a very small demand market. So really not sure. But I think the big brands can definitely look at it. Slick buns really had a big moment, and I have never been happier because I am such a slick bun person. Like, I think I keep experimenting even with my slick bun. So I have like one way of doing. Also have some tutorials, by the way, on my Instagram page. You should follow me if you're not, because I'm a lot more consistent and active over there. So I did do a lot of the slick buns, but I also tried a bunch of new products and new things, and that completely elevated my slick bun game. So now we're not just doing slick buns, we are doing elevated slick buns. Yeah. But yeah, I think a lot of people are trying it. There are a lot of interesting products available in the market for us to do it, even just to set the slick bun, to just comb through the slick bun, to keep it set as a finishing product. There are like a host of products just catering to slick buns, and that is just so cool. And we also saw a glowing body skin trend. And I think we've moved from the face because we've done just so much with the glowy, dewy thing on the face. Now we are moving to the body skin, and everybody was just putting some oils and shimmers and everything on their chest. And honestly, it looks pretty hot. So I am not complaining about it. It may not be entirely my jam, but I really like seeing it on someone else. And I also think like that is a trend that may stay longer, and it might not just be limited to this part, but it might be like all over your hands, your legs, and people will really, I think, focus on their legs is what I think. The next thing will be like shiny ass legs out there is what I think. What do you think? Then blurred lips also really had a moment. It's not new to 2025. I think this trend started sometime in 2024, 2023 even. And it's a very Korean inspired kind of a trend because they have so many products to do the whole blurry lip thing, and they are very into it, and that's now following suit. And now we have Indian brands also launching products for that blurry look. And honestly, I'm not complaining because it honestly looks so good. And the Indian brands are doing it right. They're not just copying from the Koreans, but they are creating products meant for the Indian skin, for the brown skin. And that is cool. Now that is like good adaptation, and that's where we should be heading, honestly, as a beauty industry based in India. The doll pink blush also had a moment. I think everybody was really like experimenting with this bright poppy pink, and honestly, that looked pretty cute. Initially, I couldn't understand the hype around it. I was like, that is so weird when I was seeing it on the pan. But the minute I would see it translate on the skin and the way it looked on people, that's when I started getting the trend. And finally, I got one for myself. Also, I'm not sure about the formulation, but I think that's a trend that's pretty cool. It's still not entirely my jam, to be honest, but it looks pretty nice. But I also feel like that may be a fading trend. I'm not sure that'll be very, very relevant by the end of 2026. I think we might elevate to more deeper tone blushes, more belly there blushes, is what I feel. So, yeah, we'll see how that goes. And I think athleisure also had a moment, although I'm still not like 100% happy with the sportswear industry in India, honestly. There are so many gaps. And for somebody like me who's just such a active person, I'm constantly trying to find, sort of athleisure that really fits my lifestyle and that really suits my needs. And I still see so many gaps. Like, I feel like brands are not listening or they're not researching. I don't know what is going wrong, but it has elevated. It has definitely gotten better than before. The materials, the fits, the everything, the structuring is so much better. But still, there are so many gaps. I wish they would just talk to me. I am just happy to give free feedback and advice and tell them what they should be doing right now. Because honestly, with the Gap, you can just do so much, and that's honestly an industry I feel is going to just really keep booming and even explode for that matter in the next couple of years. Even like it's not something that I feel is like a passing trend. That's just going to keep growing. So, uh, it's like basically brands should really look at those gaps and take advantage of it and do like the whole first mover thing. I don't know why they're not doing it, because these gaps have existed for the longest time and I've been complaining about them for the longest time. Simple things don't exist, but anyway, this is not a crib session. Let's move on. And finally, to just wrap up what the year has been before we move to what the predictions really can be for the next year, the biggest trend, and I feel like this was sort of a game changer for so many of us, for everyone out there actually, was the whole coming of age of AI. And AI really took over our lives in the most insane way. Chat GPT became part of lingo, even Chat GPT became part of culture. So I think this is just going to keep growing. I think, no, I know this is going to keep growing, and this is just going to become crazier and more maniacal in the next couple of years. I just hope that there are also laws and rules and things where, they are sort of uh, taking care of things in terms of security and the threats that exist around the whole AI revolution. But I'm sure that's like a system and process, as it is with any technology. Okay, now what's incoming? So, because we were just talking about AI, I feel like AI could really power through the beauty industry, and we could actually look at a lot of tech based beauty, which is which could be really so fun, so cool. There could be so much technology waiting to happen. Like you could be walking into a booth and making your own foundation shade, for that matter. That could be completely AI driven. Or you could even like do a whole face mapping just on your own through your phone. Like the possibilities are endless to think about it. And I feel like with nails we could be moving into more elaborate nails at one hand, and also more simpler toned down nails on the other hand. Now let me explain. So with elaborate, I just feel like the nails might get really crazy with like 3D and embellishments and all of that jazz going on. And honestly, it's pretty cool, and I'm waiting to see what possibilities lie ahead for us in that space. But also in the simpler nails, I feel like the whole jelly nail trend will really pick up. Not that it hasn't been around. Okay, it's big in Korea, and then it tried to take off in India, but it didn't really take off because I think the products available weren't of that quality. But I feel like that is a gap that may get filled sometime in 2026. That is definitely something that I'm looking forward to, because I really like the whole jelly nail. I don't know if you can see it, but I also have somewhat like jelly nail kind of a thing. So I had spoken about press-ons in my previous year's prediction, and I said that they will probably be the next big thing in 2025. And rightly so, press-ons were everywhere. Everyone was trying on press-ons. And honestly, I tried press-ons as well, and I hated it. I don't think they're for me. I don't think I'm doing it. I'll rather paint my nails or just leave them alone, or go get gel nails maybe once or twice a year. I'm okay with that. I'm okay not doing anything, but I'm not doing press-ons. I did them once, and I found them so annoying that no, I'm not going back there. But they will exist, and for most people who like them, will probably still keep using press-ons. And why not? They actually look great, and I wish I didn't hate them so much, because they would just save me so much labor than painting and drying and all of that. But I'm still here with the jelly nail trend. Let's just go with that. So I did mention the incoming trend of tools in beauty. The one thing I see that will probably be a little bit bigger in 2026 are hair tools. And particularly, I feel like the beach waver is something that there is a gap right there. And I feel like that is a trend that will probably come in. I personally love the whole beach wave look, and I am dying to get my hands on a tool that will give me the beach waves, because why not? Why not? I can be sitting on Juhu Beach and thinking I'm in Miami or something, right? I mean, not really, but okay, we'll go with that. And since we are talking about hair, I also feel like hair perfumes will have a moment. They have been around since a year or two, but I just feel like they haven't taken off. And I don't know why they haven't taken off, honestly, because that's an industry that could do so well. But maybe the products that we were introduced to were just not of that caliber. Just the way the jelly nails thing happened is what I feel. This is also like a category that's waiting to be tapped in and explored really well. I also feel like with the whole advent of perfumery and fragrances really coming into the scene in a big way, it will also help push the whole conversation around hair perfumes, and that will then slowly make for the next big thing in perfumes. So remember I spoke about the kohl rimmed eyes being back, and I feel like that didn't fully take force in 2025, but towards the end of the year I did see traces of that happening, and I feel like that will be a trend coming into its full potential in 2026. I feel like we will do a lot more of the kohl rimmed eyes. We will also explore with colors a lot. As predicted, I did speak about blue being very central to the whole eye makeup scene and the makeup scene in general. And we did have a lot of moments with blue, and I'm really so thrilled. I'm patting my back right now because I made so many cool predictions and they all came true. So yeah, I think the kohl rimmed eyes, but with colored kohl. Imagine that. So that's Y2K, but with a twist from Gen Z, is the way I see it. And generally, also, there will be a lot of color play with the whole makeup scene. This is something I touched upon just very slightly last year as well. And I just feel like this will take on a whole new role going forward into the new year. I also feel like bronzing will come back in some way and it'll have a very special moment, but it won't be like those harsh Y2K kind of bronzing. I think it'll be very subtle and it'll be somewhere more close to bronzing and not really like a contour cut bronzing kind of a thing. Definitely, we are moving to a maximalist thing, but we are also doing elevated stuff. So yeah, that's the way I see it. I think bronzing might come into fore even more and become even bigger than it is. I also feel like the middle partition has kind of overstayed now a while. I'm not complaining at all because this is just so fuss free for me, but I also feel like it's time to bring the side partition back, and we will slowly see an advent of that in the coming year. And something tells me that skinny brows are going to be the next thing. Why do you want to do that to yourself? Listen to me, listen to this auntie. Do not do that, okay, kids? Please don't do that. I have skinny brows because of overplucking. They do not grow back. Don't do it. And I just feel like with the whole coming of age and with the whole Gen Z's approach to beauty, with being very close to self acceptance, which is so beautiful, honestly. I just feel like there may also be a culture where we also get very comfortable with our lip pigmentation, where we'll be okay applying a clear gloss and the lip pigmentation showing through, and we'll be very comfortable in our skin doing that. And it might also become like the next big trend. You never know. So those were a couple of my beauty predictions, and I'm going to quickly list out some things that I feel may be incoming for the fashion industry as well. And the reason why I'm listing it is because I feel like the beauty and fashion industries are not very different from each other, and they sort of coexist. So they kind of influence one another. So I just feel like with the whole fashion industry, we'll just move into a more unapologetic space. The whole personal style will be a lot more pronounced out there. People will just really come into their own, and people will really be adopting the big scenes that they've probably been avoiding because they've just been feeling like it may be a bit too much. But I think being too much or a bit too much, whatever it is, will be fashionable. We'll see a lot more of the big appliques, the 3D appliques, flouncy styles, and they'll just be in full force, is what I feel. I also feel like the big buckle belts and low rise jeans will be the next it thing. They already have started making their way into fashion. It's not like very alien right now as we speak, but I just feel like they will take in full force, and we'll see a lot more of it everywhere. I also feel like with footwear, we will not be compromising on comfort. So the ballet style will really be in fashion. The Mary Janes have already paved the way for it, and I just feel like they will keep transcending into the ballet fashion, and that'll be here for a while. I think at least another year, 2 years or so. And even though we've been talking about the big moments in fashion, like people being really maximalist, unapologetic, really out there, at the same time, I feel like quiet luxury will make its way. People will really stay away from sporting big logos and move towards a more quiet luxury, even in the mid segment, is what I feel. And lastly, I just feel like wellness will also become part of the fashion culture. I don't think it isn't at the moment, because holding a cup of matcha and just doing a cafe hopping scene is fashionable but is also very wellness coded. So I just feel like that will become a very big scene. And I just hope by virtue of that trend, there is just better athleisure wear in India. I'm really hoping. So yeah, that's that. That's a roundup of all my beauty sort of fashion predictions for the year 2026. Let me know what you think. I would love to know your thoughts, because this is a video that I take a lot of trouble putting, and I take a lot of effort, a lot of research goes into this. So yeah, please do share your thoughts. I'd love to know it. And if you've stayed till here and you've liked the video, don't forget to hit subscribe. Okay, see ya. Bye.